Sweet. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Midweek Gaming. I'm Nick. Over on the other side is, of course, providing
in a
gameplay. Yeah, he's providing.
literal in a literal room of fire.
Trying to. I don't know what he's providing because I'm not watching his stream. That might not be a
I'll
good
be
thing.
honest, I'm playing Team Fortress 2, but I'm kind of queued for a few game modes, one of them being pastime, which is somewhat relevant to what we were talking about.
All right. That'll work.
Well,
So
you
anyway,
don't know about the pastime game mode, but it is fairly relevant to what we are talking about. So it
all right,
does.
I'll take your word.
If I do get into it, people will know. But if I don't, then I don't.
And if you don't know TF2, you're too young. No, you're very.
It's just
you're
a
too young.
shooter game. It's just a shooter game. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Explain TF2 to them. It's this old thing that you revive from the dead every once in a while. Used to be very popular in meme circles. Still kind of is, depending on who you ask. Regardless. So, hi.
No.
If you're wondering why we're starting so late in the week, good question. A little bit of housekeeping before we start. We're both back in college right now.
Yes.
College kicked off again.
You've been part of college for a while.
Yeah, I've been part of college again for a while. I'm pursuing a second diploma. He's still working on his first. No judgment.
No judgment.
I mean that in the most serious way. But in all fairness, though, our schedules unfortunately have worked out ironically around the same, in which we're both kind of boned in that Wednesday is kind of hard for us to do at the moment.
Yes.
So, for the foreseeable future, we will be doing Monday streams. Now, you're probably thinking, but wait, Nick, Justin, why are you on Friday then? Good question, Josh. The answer is simply this. We were trying to work out how our schedules were going to work. We were actually kind of figuring out what days we were going to stream going forward. So we thought, okay, we'll wait a week, figure out how our schedules shape out, what our professors are like, and then we'll kind of give a solid date from there to kind of
give a good idea for what it's going to be.
Yeah. So this is only a temporary stream on Friday, at least as far as we know. This probably won't become a permanent.
For what it is, for what we can give it to you as, expect no matter what, Fridays and Mondays to be the 2 days where we should be able to do anything. So if something doesn't come up on Monday, it's very likely going to come up on Friday.
Yeah, those are our 2 working days. Mondays are we should get it done by day, but if not, Friday's the fallback day.
Absolute worst case scenario would be Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah, worst case scenario, but we're hoping not to go to that route. Let's plan.
We're hoping not to get that far. We're hoping not to need to use those days, but if we absolutely have to, then we have to.
We've at least got a plan A, B, and C. Hopefully, we won't have to go past B. So there you have it. That's recent housekeeping for the time being. So what's the week about? What's the news on the grindstone this week? Well, Madden 23. You really think I was gonna miss a chance to put needles into EA? You must be messing with yourself, because I'll never miss a chance to do that. So what is it this time? So anyone who's not familiar with Madden 23, quick rundown. Number one, you're a miracle, because how have you not heard of Madden at this point? You must be like a unicorn in rarity.
Yes.
I feel bad for tarnishing you, but you know it's got to be.
Must spoil you, child.
Got to rip the Band-Aid off. So Madden 23, for those who don't know, is EA's long-running, basically claim to the Madden license, which is basically the football license. And it's basically football simulator. Now again, EA has what kind of all games in this kind of franchise have, somewhat of a monopoly, because there really isn't, to my knowledge at least, any football games outside of the Madden series. So, in fairness, you might say the only reason is they're good because there's nothing else on the market. And, you know, that's the fact of an exclusivity contract, so, or a contract that's really only exclusively been given to EA, so, you know. But what are you going to do?
Yep.
So, kind of like their FIFA license in that regard, where they can only really use FIFA and FIFA players themselves exclusively because FIFA doesn't give it to anyone else. Unfortunately. But regardless, Madden itself recently came out, or Madden 23 in the last few months, I believe. And what a train wreck. So, for those who don't know, in the link in the description, we have a Metacritic office score that was placed, and let's just read you out some of these scores. The review score, surprisingly, from critics is 70. But the user score which might make you think, oh, this is a really great game, until you look at the user score. Side note, of the Metacritic reviewers, 22 of them are high-end quote-unquote critics, and 92 of them are users. And so if 70 is the critic score, what's the user score? Well, user score is about 1.8 out of 10. So yeah, this shows you exactly what we're working with going in. Seems like, as usual, when it comes to EA games often, the critics and the fans have very different opinions. Some of these often state that, there are some minor improvements, but for the most part, as usual, when it comes to these games, it's a copy-paste from the last edition. Which, I never thought I'd say this, but in EA's defense, well, no, not in EA's defense, I'll never defend them. In the developer's defense, EA only really gives them a year to crank out a new one, so I wouldn't expect to see many changes between 1 year and the next year. But regardless, this has been a buggy mess from the seams of it. There's been a host of bugs and issues, which, again, usually plagues these games. But it got so much worse recently. See, recently there was a bit of a bug that really hit fans rather hard. See, recently there was something of a server issue. And before I go into that, I have to explain what exactly it affected. First off, it affected franchise mode, which again, for the layman's sense, is basically Football Manager. Basically, make your dream team. Anyone who knows FIFA Ultimate Team, think that, but think football. And I believe take out the whole card simulator bit. Basically, people can trade players with other people from across the web, and basically amass your dream team, do all the manager stuff, yada 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 yada. It's a very involved thing. You can certainly see the draw if you're a football fan.
Yeah, no, it's practically the same like a lot of other sports games and even a few racing games where it's like you've got your main stuff that like the main driving entertainment of said product type thing, where you've got like you got your big name sports players, you got your big name sports cars, stuff like that. But it for the most part is practically the same game when you really think about it. Like every single iteration is basically the same, only for the most part you'd hope that like some of the more advanced stuff gets improved upon.
But yeah, certainly that. When it comes to franchise mode, though, itself, like I said, you can certainly see the draw. It's basically make your perfect team. Maybe you want, I don't know any good football players. Hell, I don't know any football players. But think your best football player. Maybe you want that guy in your team. You trade for that guy. Maybe you want that other great guy in your team. So you trade for that guy. Basically, unlike Madden, which I'm sure basically confines you to certain set teams that are playing at the current moment and their makeup, you can make your own team. And you can go through the whole business of managing, training, and all that fun stuff. Here's the rub. In an already pretty glitchy game, a certain server glitch went around recently and basically wiped the saves. So all that effort people went into making their ultimate team, to borrow that name from FIFA, all gone.
Gone.
And this has been the franchise mode, a thing since apparently the NFL, the Madden game, the NFL game, all the way back in 04. So this is a very long-running mode for the NFL series, or for the Madden series. And like I said, all those saves that got made for this current generation, gone. So, all that work people put in, gone.
Yeah, and again, that's a lot of disappointment to anyone who put a lot of work into getting like good characters and good set and all that. Like putting in a lot of hours in order to go and have good games, good score like that. Like, yep, all of it's gone. That's not the kind of thing you want to be seeing.
According to one article by GameSpot, the frickin' Madden series isn't even new to the whole save data issue. So
It's an interesting thing to see why it happened in the first place.
yeah.
Like,
So
why,
yeah, and
why
already.
did this happen? Why did it break? Type of thing.
So yeah. The whole issue, like I said, in an already glitchy game, is that basically what happened is that due to, in their own words, data storage issues, which is basically issues is translated, we lost your data. Basically what happened is that on Wednesday, about 12/28, so about the 28th of last month, players around 2:45 Eastern Standard tried to access their franchise servers, which is again where all of this data is stored on. It's all stored on the cloud, which again is why you can trade players between other people on the cloud. It's this whole cloud-based thing. Only to receive an error that leagues were unavailable. The issue persisted until about 12:45, so about at least 10 hours. Give or take. Unfortunately, it seems on Thursday. So actually, no, scratch that. More than a day. But or almost more than a day, or almost a day. Yeah. Anyways, you get the point. As they themselves say, they don't reveal exactly what happened, but they do say that due to a data storage issue, it resulted in the franchise files being corrupted. So when the people came back, they thought, okay, minor glitch, I'll come back and just play it sometimes with the film gets fixed, right? They came back and surprise, their entire thing was gone, deleted. So the entire franchise mode got essentially reset. So all that work people put in, gone. And again, EA, I don't believe has admitted to why this happened. They just said data storage issue. But long story short, the save files all got corrupted and were inaccessible. That's why deleted. So that's not good, but it gets better. It gets better. EA later came forward, apologizing for the issue.
Because I mean, it makes sense for them to try to apologize for something that they really don't want to happen in the first place.
Again, they won't say why, only just a data storage
That
issue,
it
but
happened.
that it happened. EA came forward, and people obviously are like, well, shit, restore my saves, can you restore my saves? Well, recently EA, developers came forward with a message that said, sorry about the storage problem. Good news and bad news. Good news is we can get them back. Bad news is we can only get back about 60 of them. Percentage, that is.
That's not something that you want to see.
So only about 60, so just over half of those saves are actually going to be recoverable. The other 40%, gone. Now there is a bit of a caveat here, I will confess. If you logged into the franchise mode, the franchise leagues, during this time, your data was affected. Makes sense because during this issue, which is probably something to do with their servers messing up, the servers were trying to access your data. This probably resulted in that data getting corrupted, and thus you had your problem with things deleted. So, if you were unfortunate enough to log in during this problematic period, congratulations, your data's now gone. I'm sorry for you. Hopefully you're one of those 60% that can come back, because if not, yikes, you're, sorry.
Lost on that one.
Lost to time, lost to the void. So, yeah, it's certainly not good for an already problematic game series that already received what seems to be pretty, polar, bottom barrel reviews on release. And truth be told, in my thing of Metacritic, when I look through it, actually, only one reviewer really only says, like one of the quote-unquote big critics actually says, I think what a lot of fans actually think of this game. I'll read that particular review. They gave it only a 30 compared to most people who score somewhere between 70 and 80. It's from Xbox Tavern. They say, and I quote, Madden 23 is a rehash of all the previous Maddens in the series. Bits and pieces were taken from those games and labeled as new. Even though Field Sense was refurbished, I still strongly believe that it gave Madden 23 its shine.
Yeah.
What good that shine has, however, when the game is covered with bugs and laziness. I'm not saying this game had to be perfect. Other sports simulation titles had their own share of problems. What separates Madden from them, however, is EA decides to mix the old problems with the new ones instead of fixing it. They go and do the same thing next year. And of course, there's the full review. But that was the snippet that you can actually see on the Metacritic site. But yeah, I think that's kind of the mix that most people are feeling. Some reviewers are even saying, or some users, I mean, even say that this Madden only continues the downward spiral Madden has year after year.
2, 1.
Yep.
With one of them saying this time around the bugs are so extensive it makes you question if they even tested the game at all, which
Yeah.
is not something good you want to hear from your users.
Yep.
So, yeah. What's there more to say? I really feel bad if you buy the Madden games.
3, 2.
They're, specifically because, like I said, considering EA holds the NFL license, much like they do the FIFA license and I believe NHL license, though they haven't really done anything with that one for a long time. They're the only really like official sports simulators on the market, and this is what people have to deal with. So I really feel bad for them. Like I won't lie, I used to hate people who bought into these games because they basically enabled EA. But here's the thing: I've had a lot of years to think over that, and now my hatred has turned to pity. Because here's the thing: I pity them because when you really think about it,
They're limited in a way.
like. Yeah, like a lot of people who even play these games say that there really aren't any options available on the market anymore. Like
No.
Madden, FIFA, they're the only franchise.
Like, yeah, no, when you think about it, early PlayStation 1 to PlayStation 2 days, there used to be like a variety of different sports games from different like groups and companies and all that. But not anymore.
Not anymore. You
That
either
is
buy it.
not the case anymore.
Yeah, you either buy it.
You either get what you get or don't get anything at all.
Honestly, you either give EA money with their NFL, NFL Madden, or FIFA 2K, FIFA series, or if you're into basketball, you give 2K your money with their 2K, whatever they're calling it these days. You know, there are only the official licensed games on the market for this kind of thing, and that's about it. So, you know, if you want an official licensed game from these, you know, if you're a big sports fan, you're not going to get anything outside these series, which, again, is why I pity them. Don't get me wrong, I still despise the games, but I don't despise the player base anymore. I pity them.
Yeah. I mean, no matter what, with games like that, you kind of should, at least I would recommend, going and taking a look at the game. Like, don't buy it, but take a look at the game and see if it's worth getting right now. If it's worth getting, like if it adds a whole bunch to the game that you're like, oh, okay, that's good, I'm okay with that, then, and it's worth to you, like it's actually worth getting for yourself, then go for it. But if it's not really worth it, then why bother?
That's the thing. Like I said, it's that experience of an official experience, which many people don't have anymore. It's like you say, there's really nothing else on the market anymore.
There is
One person even compared it to that old gambling saying, the wheel may be crooked, but it's the only wheel in town. Which
Yeah.
is kind of how FIFA and 2K, or which, FIFA, I keep using them, which is why EA and 2K have kept their monopolies so basically well over these years, despite reviews like this. There is no other wheel. They are the ones you go to.
It's
and
the
that's
only
about it.
one there is.
Yeah.
So. at least in my opinion, check, because in a way, although there's only one wheel, there are different versions of that same wheel. So at least check to see if that wheel is worth getting for yourself.
Yeah. So yeah. There you go, that's the real issue surrounding Madden. A bit of a shorter one this week. I can't really speak much to this because, like I said, I don't touch the sports games. I loathe them, but I don't touch the sports games because I loathe them.
Yeah.
I've played a few sports games over the years. I've played racing in the past, and won a few others I can't remember. But still,
I mean, there's. I know the only real thing that I could possibly say that like I've played for an equivalency of is an old racing game for my DS, and even then it's like I could say, oh, I'll play Mario Kart for racing and all that, but that doesn't really connect much.
I don't know. I'd say technically it falls into the racing category, though I don't think any hardcore racers would actually look at you with any degree of respect.
Yeah, no, it's like it's not really your Ford F-150 style. So.
You can tell he doesn't even know racing games, and he starts naming off.
I know, but I went with the Ford F-150 because the Ford F-150 can tow. It's got the towing capacity to take on this whole track.
Hashtag not sponsored.
Not sponsored.
But, yeah, no. But again, it is what it is. At least in the racing game sector, there's at least, like, well, even then, it has its issues there. It's kind of similar, although slightly different. There are at least several different versions. I can't remember any of the big, freaking racing, titles off the top of my head, the series-wise. I know there are a few, I just can't remember any off the top of my head. But still, I mean, there you go. Like I said, this is going to be a short one because there's really not much we can talk about here. Like I said, it's glitchy, it's busted, and now it got worse, so...
Yeah, there's been a bunch of problems, but for the most part, yeah.
Though in fairness, in all my years of covering the industry on the side, and even on this channel now, I've never seen a sports game mess up to this extent. Oh, I've seen glitches. I have seen
yeah, there's been glitches with the sports games, but say it for what it is. There's only one horse in the race, but that horse has always been fairly consistently good.
Like, yeah, like I've seen, like, I think I remember the last time I heard glitches this extreme in some cases was one of the last I can't remember if it was, I think it was 2K who actually did the wrestling games. I think either the wrestling or the boxing.
I know at least there's been some WWE style
That's
games
the
that have gone well. That haven't gone well.
Yeah, I think it was like the last WWE game that I heard about that had this issue where some of the glitches, you suddenly see fighters snap their spine.
I mean, I could imagine it with a game like that. It's like, oh yeah, my spine does not exist.
Yeah, you suddenly see click, but and that was just the things I can't remember happening. But yeah, I've not seen mass save deletion before, especially
no, something like that. There had to be a serious internal, like there had to be some serious fucking that, like that's concerning levels type stuff, really.
Yeah, I mean, in fairness, they've always accused the EA games and in some ways the 2K games as well, for when it comes to the sports games, for being lazy. It seems that they're so lazy now they're not even taking care of their own servers these days.
I mean, I could see it.
Seems even development. I mean, what are you gonna say? But yeah. Ring around jokes aside, you get the point. But yeah, anyways, that's the news on. Well, that's the news. My brain, like, died there for a second. That's why I didn't finish that. But
think. Cannot see.
That's the NFL Madden news this week. So yep, another ding in that coffin. Who knows? Maybe the NFL will revoke their license. We can only hope. That way, maybe we might be actually get some good football games coming to the market. Or, if memory serves, if you're in, oh no, that's the soccer thing I'm thinking about. I was gonna do a joke for Europeans and how they call it soccer, not football, but that's actually American soccer that I'm thinking of. So, never mind, I can't make that joke. So just forget I said anything there. Regardless. Anyways, we won't take up your... There you go, that's the news.
That's your short El Bacho streamo.
This news is in a way so short for me to cover. I'm not used to doing these short videos. I'm used to there being more meat here, but whatever. We'll just leave you with this then. But yep, that's the NFL Madden news. Again, if you are one of those affected, hope you're one of those 60 that can be recovered. If not, I feel sorry for you. But anyways, so yeah, there you go. See you guys on Monday next week, hopefully. We actually have several bits of news that came in this week, and I was actually spending, for the most part, all week trying to figure out what we were going to say on this stream. So, yep, this is what we went with. This is the news we went with for now.
Yep.
We'll see how this plays out. Anyways, y'all know the shtick. Like, comment, subscribe, yada yada yada. I say it almost every other video because, I mean, let's be honest, YouTube demands I say it for the algorithm. I must appease the algorithm.
Yep.
Let's see if we can get to 20 by the end of Chinese New Year.
We'll see.
We couldn't get to 20 by the end of the actual New Year, so let's go off the Chinese New Year. Let's see if we can get one by the... I'm pushing it back.
Give me subscriber.
I'm pushing it back thanks to the use of the Asian people. Thank you, China, for creating a New Year that doesn't exist with everyone else.
Yes. Thank you for giving us a second New Year.
That way I can say we still get to 20 by the end of the New Year. This time the Chinese New Year. But anyways, are you okay?
Yes.
Your heavy breathing and the smacking of keys.
Yeah. Game more.
Time to put Justin back in his box. So,
Put me in the box.
Put him back in his cage for the
Put
week.
me back. Send me back.
So yeah, anyways, there you go. Anyways, see you guys on Monday. And I'll ask if he has anything else to say before we sign off.
Not really. No, I mean, this is one of those cases where it's like, all right, something happened. Hopefully, nothing too crazy continues to happen. But clearly, this is a case of okay, well, we're just getting lazy with our development and overall care of our game.
Like I said, it says a lot when they refuse to say anything more than data issue. Data storage issue. Says a lot when they're only willing to say that much. Regardless, makes me feel like the truth is actually far more interesting.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's the news like we said. See you all next week, guys.
Hopefully you all enjoyed it for what it is. And
Hope you
everyone
guys
did
enjoy the
get
new
to
year.
see a little bit of TF2 pastime and how boring it is.
And yet he still plays it. Actually, I just realized.
No, the pastime game mode is boring. Overall game modes aren't too bad.
Actually, this is the first stream of the year, and we're starting it off with Madden. Well, it can only go up from here.
We can only go higher. You
Next
gotta
week.
you gotta start off low. That way the expectations aren't too high. That way when you do give something that's a high quality, it really hypes it up.
Next week, Destiny servers reported dead by mass server crash. Oh, it's already in
I mean,
files.
that's to be expected this coming February. So.
Yeah, no, come Lightfall, all the servers are just gonna crash. But we'll save that for another time. Anyways, it's a bit late, but I'll say it anyway. Happy New Year, guys. Hope you all have a good year moving forward. And good night.
Night, ladies and gentlemen.
I haven't said that in a while.
Gamer. longer.